goes away. 'Cause cover girls don't cry after the face is made. But there's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Kyle back again with another video. So this video, you guys, is gonna be a story time. And let me start off by saying no more retail. If you guys know what I mean by that, no more retail. So let me first start off by saying I used to work at JCPenney. It's a retail store. Now, I'm going to start from way beginning. So I was a freshman in college and I was living in dorms and I was going to school full time. So I was like, let me pick up a part-time job, like, you know, just to have a little money here and there. Like, you know, that way I wouldn't have to be calling my parents for money. So, like, you know, I wanted to be independent. So I was like, okay, let me pick up a job. So you guys know every time, like, the holiday comes, like the season, like Black Friday, Christmas and everything, everywhere is always hiring, like always hiring. So I had a friend that we go to the same church. She was working at JCPenney. So she used to work there, but at the time I applied for the job. She wasn't working there no more. So I was like, are they hiring? She was like, yeah, they're hiring for the season. Like, they're always hiring. So I put in an application and then I got called in for an interview. But before I went into the interview, of course, like, you know, some advice from somebody that been there, like, that has experience. So I was like, oh my God, so what should I say? What should I do? Like, you know, what should I do? Like, you know, because I want to get this job because I need, like, you know, a little money. And then she was just like, oh, just be yourself, ask questions, participate, and all of that. And I was like, okay, you know, I got this, I can do this. So I got in for an interview. So they interviewed me. First it was like a group interview, which was a very different. It was a group interview. We played this game just to see, like, how we would work as a team and everything. And then from there, we got selected one by one to talk with the supervisors. First, I talked to a supervisor. There was two supervisors. There's a man and a woman. There's multiple, but I only got interviewed by two. I'm not sure if I got interviewed by the man or the dude first, but I got interviewed by one of them first. And then that's when, after you talk to that, then you want to go talk to the manager, which is the person, like, that runs the store. And then after you do that, then you go back to one of the supervisors. Then from there, they will tell you if you got the job. So after I talked to the manager, I went back to the man supervisor, and that's when he told me I got the job and they were gonna pay me $8.25. Remind you guys, I was doing so much work for only $8.25. No, boo boo. I deserve more than that. So I was getting paid. They're like, you're getting $8.25. Do you agree? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, you know, I'm gonna take it because I need, like, you know, a job or whatever. And I didn't need that much hours because I was already going to school full time. So I agreed to the terms and everything, and then I got hired. So we had to come back, of course, for orientation. Orientation was like a 2-day thing. So they showed us, like, the floor and everything, and they we did, like, the test and everything. So everything was going, like, good at the beginning. Everything was going smooth. I was happy I got a job. I was gonna make some money, you know, all that good stuff. So when I got hired, they placed me in the children's department. Now, if you've been to JCPenney, there's different departments. There's a jewelry, there's men's, there's women's, there's children's, and there's a shoe department. So I got hired. So I was hired, and they placed me in the kids department, children's department. Now, remind you, I love that department. It was very slow. It was calm, you know, just like children's department. And it was nice. So when I first started there, I was supposed to stand behind this girl and basically watch what she do in the cashier when she cashed people out and, like, you know, scan their clothes and everything. And she was a good, like, I enjoyed watching her because she was really good. And then we became close too. Not like close friends, but we became really good. So everything was going good. So I picked up the job, like, really fast. Like, within 2 weeks, I already knew, like, everything to do. So there was this thing that you had to do. It was called it was a JCPenney credit card. So every time you basically convince somebody open a JCPenney credit card, they'll get a certain percent off. I think it was like 25 or 30% off. And every time us members, like employee, would open one, we get like a $2 thing on our paychecks. So I was let me tell you guys, I was so good at that. Like in a day, I'll probably open like 3 or 4 of them. And then every time you open one, or a customer was like, yeah, I'll get one, whatever, you had to, like, after you do the application for them online and everything, you would have to, like, say in the radio, I got this, da, da, da. And even though, like, it will pull up on their screen, on their screen when they're doing their paycheck, you still can call it in just so they can say, oh, congrats, oh, I'm happy, or whatever. So I, like, in a day I got like 3 or 4. Remind you, I was like on a roll, and I was doing my job correctly and everything. I was doing my fitting room and everything. And then as the season, when the season was over, remind you, I was only hired as temporary. They was only hiring people for the season. But after the season was over, they always end up keeping like certain amount of people, but not much. Like out of like maybe 10 people, they probably end up keeping like 1 or 2. So I was one of those people that end up staying because I was like really on my job. Like I took my job very serious. I was like making credit cards back to back in one day. I was doing the fitting room correctly. I was folding the clothes correctly. I was doing everything like I was supposed to. Now, I knew I was hired as temporary, and I wanted to become a permanent, so I did a good job. So at the end, they're like, they're calling people like one by one, letting you know if you like you permanent or they're gonna let you go. So I was one of those people that got hired, that got to stay as a permanent. I got a permanent position at JCPenney. So everything was going good, you know. I got hired and everything, so I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna stay in the kids department, which I like and I wanted to stay there. But since I was doing like everything I need to do, they're like, okay, we don't need you in the kids department, we need you down in the women's department. Because they were like, oh, we need somebody like that was a fast pace, because I was at fast pace and everything, and we need people that can open more credit cards and everything. Because like the women's department and the men's department, that's where more customers were at. In the kids department, we would have customers, but not as much. So they needed somebody like me because I was so good with opening up credit cards. So they changed the department I was working at. So I went from working for kids department to women's department. And that's when they changed me to the women's department, that's when I started hating the job. Like when I mean hate, I mean hate. Like, no offense to us women, but when we go shopping, I mean, we go shopping. So I got hired at the women's department, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And I didn't have no say in it. They wanted to change me. It was like, okay, yeah, whatever. It's the same thing. Let me tell you guys, coming from the kids department to women's department is a big, and I mean big difference. So remind you, I was only working night shifts because I couldn't work in the morning because I had school. So I could only work like in the evening and night shifts. So I was working the women's department, and let me tell you, I was on the cashier, I was folding clothes, and I was doing fitting room. Now, when I go inside that fitting room, and I mean when I go inside that fitting room, oh my God, I don't even know where to begin. There'll be like, in one room, there could be like 10 clothes on the floor. And when I mean like 10 clothes, and it got to the point where like, it was just like ridiculous. Like, okay, you guys not gonna buy all these clothes, so why try all of these clothes on? Now I can't really talk because I'm talking about myself also, because like, let's say if I go to my favorite store like Forever 21 or Papaya or any of those clothes, like, you know, you females can relate to, I can try like 5 outfits on and I'm gonna leave them there. Or if I'm having a good day, okay, I'll probably bring them back. Or if it's one of those employees be like, can you bring them out, and I'll bring them back. So yeah. So if I go in a fitting room, there'd be like 10 clothes. And the worst part of it is, if it was like a 2-piece outfit, I would have to look, and I mean look for it, that way I can put them together, put them in the hanger, and I would have to go put them back on the floor where they belong. So it was just like the worst nightmare ever working as the women's department. I remind you, I was working night shifts. So JCPenney make a lot of money off their credit cards, off their coupons, and everything. So in my head, I'm like, okay, night shift is like when we need more people. In night shift, let me say, they'll probably hire like put like 3 or 4 people to close. And remind you, the women's department is like the biggest department out of JCPenney. So they will hire probably like they will schedule like 3 people to close. So remind you, the mall closes at 9, and us, we get off at 9:30 because we have like that 30 minute to clean the store, that way it could be ready for the next morning, that way it could be clean for the people that opens. So let me tell you guys, oh my god. So we had to make sure like the fitting room was cleaned out. We had to make sure the clothes were folded. We had to fold the clothes, make sure they were in the right area, make sure they were sized up and everything. It'd be 9:30 and the store is still dirty. Like, and then the thing is, it's not even just like the women's department, it's every department also, but the women's department is always the worst. And we couldn't leave until like the whole store, and I mean the whole store was closed. And then we got the signal from our supervisors, okay guys, it's time, you guys can leave, the whole store is looking good. And they had to make sure they did a run through all the departments to make sure that like everything was cleaned up. And then like women's department is always the last department to be done. So like when the kids department is done, the men's department, shoes department, all of them will come and help us in the women's department, because that was like the dirtiest department ever. So remind you, like I started off liking the job, and I ended up hitting it when they switched me over. So maybe like 9:30 we're not done to go. Oh, it'd be like 10 and we're still in the store. Sometime maybe like 10:30, 11 we're still in the store, and I'd be like, okay, you guys don't care about my education. Clearly you guys don't care about my education, and you guys know I'm in school. I have to go home, do my homework, and then try to get some rest because I have class the next morning, and then I have work again at 3:30 to 9:30. And I was like, okay, clearly you guys don't care about me. Okay, so I was like, okay, you guys don't care about me. Okay, you guys don't care about me. The only good thing I got out of this was that if you worked a little extra hours, you were still on the clock. You know, you were still getting paid. Yeah, that was a good thing. But I was ready to go home at 9:30. I was ready to clock out and go home. And good thing, the mall and the school in my college, they're like probably like 15 minutes with traffic, probably 20. So that's the only good thing. And the other good thing about that job was every time I opened up a credit card, I got $2 off my paycheck. So that was another good thing about that job. Let me tell you guys, and I told myself, never again am I gonna work retail, never again. So I was working there for about like 9 months, and I don't know what took me so long while I was still working there. I guess like just because I needed money. So when around June 2016, I told myself I was going to quit. So you guys, you guys had to put a 2 weeks notice. So I did put a 2 weeks notice. I put in a 2 weeks notice in June. But I put in to finish working at the end of the month, which is at the end of the month, when the month ends, right? That way my check could balance out, because I didn't want my check to be cut off. That way I don't get no confusion. So I wanted to balance off. So there's like a little area when you put the 2 weeks notice that you have to put in like why you want to quit the job. So I'm gonna be honest. So I was like, I said, you guys don't do scheduling right. You guys don't hire enough. You guys don't schedule enough people. You guys don't take nobody's time into consideration. I was just putting so much stuff. So let me tell you guys, I was on schedule. Remind you, I always check my schedule. I was on schedule for this week and next week. So I go check my schedule. I was on schedule for only 1 week, and I was like, okay, something's not right. I know I'm not going crazy. I know I'm not delusional. And I was like, I know I was scheduled for next week also. So I called in. I was like, hey, I'm not going to say the supervisor name just because privacy reasons. So I was like, hey, I'm not on schedule. He was like, oh yeah, we took you off schedule. We found somebody to close your shift because of what you put in the description of why you wanted to quit. And then I was like, I said, okay, thank you. Boom, hung up on his ass. And I was like, I guess you guys mad. And another thing is, I was like, okay, I don't care. You guys did me a favor, let me go early anyways. I don't care. I didn't want it to quit anyways. But my thing was, when was you guys going to tell me that I was on schedule like next week? You guys were going to wait till I come in and everything. And think I would come into job, and none of them like would tell me nothing. I think we had like probably like 6 supervisors in that job. Now one of them came up to me and was like, oh yeah, we got somebody close your shift, like, you know, cover your shift, you're only working this weekend, and then the next thing we know, we're letting go. Now one of them came and confront me about it, but I was like, okay, you know what, I'm not even gonna stress about it because I don't even care. I wanted to quit anyways. So I told one of my employees like what they did, and they're like, oh, and it reminds you, they're feeling some type of way about the story too. Everybody was planning on quitting, like what the people I spoke to. So they're like, oh, the only reason why they did that because it when you put in a 2 weeks notice, it don't only go to them, it goes to the other it goes to the top managers, the top corporate, and they always look at like statuses of like who quit and stuff, just so they can know like what's going on with that store. And I was like, oh, okay, that's probably why they feeling some type of way. But guys, just to let you know, I told myself I'm never. But yeah, you guys, what I just told myself was I'm not working retail no more. Working retail is just too much. And I was doing so much work, like folding clothes, doing fitting rooms, doing cashier, and I was only getting paid $8.25, like $8.25 for all that work. And I was like, no, I'm not no slave. I'm not doing this. But then again, probably it was because my first job ever. Like, I used to have a job, but it was like at a school job, like when I was in high school, working like a 2-hour shift or something. But it just was like a 6-hour shift, 7-hour shift. And I was just like, I don't like this job. I'm gonna quit. I'm not happy. I'm not gonna stay here and do this just because of money, because money come and go. Like, no, I'm not gonna do this. And I told myself I was gonna quit. But guys, that's just my experience with working retail. So ever since then, I have not worked retail. Right now, my job is not a retail. I work at a call center, and I'm very happy with that. And I'm not getting paid minimum wage. I'm getting basically paid 14 an hour where I work at right now. So guys, I hope you guys enjoy my story time. And sorry because this video is so long, but I hope you guys like, comment, subscribe. And guys, let me know how you feel about this story time. And guys, have a great day. Be blessed. I am out. Peace.